Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Farset7425 from the Relationship Advice subreddit and says, my 25 female, boyfriend 30 male of 5 years just ghosted me. I've been with my boyfriend since the start of 2020, when we met in med school. We had some tiffs over the years, but we've never had a super serious fight that would lead to a breakup. However, every time we had a small argument over anything, he would always disappear and go over a day without talking to me. And all of those times, I had to be the one to chase him. He never, not even once, messaged me after a fight or argument. We'll be graduating this year, and my grandpa wanted to gift me a holiday, like 7 or 10 days at a country nearby, for my graduation. I already knew this would be a problem because my boyfriend is a jealous person. I told him about the gift and said he's welcome to come with me. Obviously, my grandpa would not be paying for this trip. He has no money, since we're med students graduating this year and have no source of good income yet, and said he did not like this idea and that it made him feel insecure. I tried to be very understanding and respectful and asked him if he thinks I'll cheat on him just because I'm on a trip for 10 days. He said that's not the issue, but also did not clarify what the issue was then. The next day, I tried to continue talking to him normally, but he was clearly being weird and distant. The day after that, we had a class together, and he treated me like shit in front of everyone. That was it for me. I decided I would not be overcompensating or blowing sunshine up his ass for something that isn't wrong. That night, he sent me a goodnight text, to which it says AI replied. Or it could be just I replied, you never know these days. That was Tuesday. Today's Friday, and he never messaged or contacted me again, and neither did I. I know not talking is childish as fuck, but I really don't want to be humiliated and go chase him yet again. I think this time, if he doesn't want to talk to me anymore, I'll just let him. Am I missing something? Look, he created this pattern of a fight happening, him disappearing, you chasing him, and him coming back and then repeating that process. And he's trying to make it your problem to solve every single time. And now you're not going to be playing by those rules. He's not liking it. The trip situation, it's just what we see a lot here. Classic control. He can't afford to come, so suddenly your gift that you was given is a problem because it's making him insecure. And he's punishing you publicly for it. For having a grandfather who loves you and wants to gift you. Sure, it sucks not being able to go with your other half on a trip because you can't afford it, but this was a gift to her. In some ways you should be happy for it at the same time. I'm not saying it wouldn't suck to not go on that trip, because of course it would, but to publicly humiliate you because you're going on it takes the piss. My opinion, take that trip, celebrate your graduation, celebrate yourself, enjoy yourself. Don't let him ruin what you're doing, because he will try that, I guarantee it, and consider if this is something you really want. Some people show you who they are. Just accept that, move on. Some stories I look at and I think, life's too short for this shit. Commenter says to OP, he's acting very immature, but I also kind of get why he's mad. If a family member gifted me a long trip without including my partner of 5 years, I'd assume it's because their family hated me and wanted my partner to feel slighted, as well as spend that time apart from me. OP says, I don't think that's the point. This trip would be kind of expensive and we're not married or engaged, so I didn't expect my grandpa to spend twice as much to include him. On top of that, earlier this year my mum took me on a car trip and invited him, since it would be much cheaper, since it's by car etc. She said she'd pay. He said he wouldn't feel comfortable accepting money from my family like that and would only go when he had his own money. Another commenter says, OP babe, I get it. You're gutted and puzzled. It's like he hits a button and poof, gone. And here you are left hanging. But girl, you can't keep chasing after that ghost. You deserve to celebrate your achievements without him putting you down. OP says it's not just that. It feels cold and heartless to not even agree on ending things. We have good memories together and he has been good for me a lot of times. I guess I'm wondering if it's worth it to throw it all away because of a trip. Though now it's more about the principle than the trip itself. Like, what if I get an internship somewhere else for a month or two during medical residency? Then I'd have to turn it down because of him. This makes no sense in my head. Commenter says, wow, he's so immature for a 30-year-old. You seem much more together, and I'm sure you're seeing that this type of person is not the one for you. You're graduating, and imagine when you start working those crazy hours when doing residency and he's giving you this treatment because he doesn't like your hours. I'll just cut the cord soon on this and move on. You have a lot more going on for you than to be with a baby. Opie says, I know this post makes it look like he's a bad boyfriend or a bad person, but I do love him, and he's been a good partner overall. And I really did not want to break up. I had this naive idea that we'd get married and stay together forever. And now he's making it sound like I'm the one who wants to break up. Just go on a trip. So I'm feeling very guilty and confused. Another commenter says, why are you with this guy? Let him think he ended it. He's used to you chasing after him. That is what he expects. Go on your trip and have fun. Commenter says, the funny part is that I'm sure he thinks he's the victim and that I ended things. When I asked him why he was so bothered about me being gone for 10 days, he said that it sounded like I wanted to be single and couldn't break up with him. So he actually thinks that I ended things to go on a trip, which makes me even more upset. Someone asks how Opie's boyfriend responds to her going on trips. Does he make her cancel trips? Opie says, he's usually okay with me going on trips with my parents. He just gets this way if I'm by myself or with my girlfriends. 2 months later, Opie comes in with an update. Come on, Opie. Hi friends. I couldn't take the pressure of not talking at all, so I ended up reaching out to him. We had a conversation and talked about our insecurities, the fact that I always want to do things on my own and that I want him to do things on his own, and thought we had sorted things out. Then fast forward a few weeks. I mentioned again going on my trip and he absolutely lost it. Told me he didn't want to be in a relationship where the other part was constantly doing things on their own. This was the second time I traveled during the 5 years of our relationship. It turned into an endless discussion over me not wanting to waste my grandpa's gift and him not wanting me to go anywhere. He ended up giving me an ultimatum. Either I'd stay with him or I'd travel. Mind you, this trip would be 8 days long. I tried telling him how much I love him and how much I want to be with him, but I still want to enjoy things by myself, especially if the reason is that he can't come. It didn't work. On July 2nd, he broke up with me. He left my house at 7 p.m. and had deleted all of our pictures by 8 a.m. He never contacted me again, ever, for any reason. I went on the trip. It was great. I ended up meeting with some friends from home who were coincidentally at the same place. I came back a week ago. I feel completely lost, guilty, lonely. I feel like I'm a bad person who hurt a good person. I think about messaging him to try and work out things at least once every 10 minutes. I feel so bad. I don't think he would ever get back together with me, so my sense of self-preservation stops me from trying to reach out. I'm writing this in my room. It's 5 past midnight and I can't stop crying. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't think we're compatible anymore. But he's the person I spent basically my entire adult life with. Anyway, just thought I'd share the update and maybe get some insights from you guys. Sending everyone who commented on the first post lots of love. Commenter says to OP, I feel like there's something left out. There has to be more to his disdain for you going on this trip and his extreme jealousy. You go 5 years and just up and vanish while still in med school, about to graduate. What has happened in the past, or your past, or even your combined relationships past? Was there cheating? Was there flirting of some kind? Did he see old videos of you with an ex? I don't think there's a problem with spouses going on separate trips. Been married myself for over a decade and my wife does girls' trips all the time. In being jealous, while not awesome, it's still a human reaction that should be dealt with. You being in med school, you should be sympathetic to that idea. It's been 63 days since your first post. I'm kind of confused on the timeline. Did you just get back from the trip now, or did he leave 63 days ago and now it's just hitting you after the trip is over? Opie says our first fight over me going on the trip was when I first posted. We actually broke up on July 2nd. I got back from my trip on July 21st. Of course, there will always be something left out. You're only getting one side of the story. I never cheated on him, and he never cheated on me. Commenter says, was he always insecure? Has there been situations where he freaked out prior to this? Opie says he was always jealous to a degree, and that was never a secret. To be completely fair, I was very jealous when we first started dating too, and very insecure. I was 19 though. I And I like to think that the fact that he never cheated on me made me trust him more and more throughout the years. I stopped feeling jealous. He never liked, for example, that I had straight guy friends. There was a boy who lives in the same building as me who offered me a ride to uni more than once. He goes to the same uni, and my ex always told me not to take that offer, even though that meant I'd have to take the bus. Other examples I can think of is when a band I love came to my country, but the concert would be in a different city. My mum offered to give me tickets as a birthday gift, but he was extremely offended when I mentioned going with a girlfriend because he couldn't go. So I ended up not going. There has been more than one occasion where I had to cancel plans with girlfriends because he was jealous, including one night out at a bar with 3 other girls who were all in serious relationships. That being said, obviously you're getting the worst parts of him by my retelling of the story. He wasn't all bad, and I don't think he's a bad person. As I said, I had some moments of jealousy myself. I'm no saint. Ultimately, I think my conclusion was that if this had been an amazing relationship and the only problem was the trip thing, I could have not gone on the trip. But that wasn't the case. My parents even told me after the breakup that these past months I looked frustrated and sad. Maybe the final straw for me, looking back, was that on Valentine's Day, which we celebrate on June 12th here in my country, he didn't do anything romantic at all. Even though I voiced multiple times how much it meant to me, he never gave me flowers for the entirety of the relationship. Even though I said to him multiple times I love them, and Valentine's Day was no different. No flowers, no picking me up at home, no picking up the bill at the restaurant. Anyway, I digress. My point is that there were other problems in the relationship that were unrelated to this trip. Commenter says to OP, I'm sorry you're feeling heartbroken. But you made the right decision. Cry. Let yourself cry more. Watch movies that make you cry. And reach out to friends and do in-person things with them, even if you don't think you want to. You're probably going to feel like you don't know what to do with your free time for a bit. Take up a new hobby or two. Things your friends do are great starting points. Whether sport, art, theatre group, choir, craft, community endeavour, anything that gets you out of your nest and doing in-person things with roughly the same group of people every week. Talk to everyone. Arrive early and leave late if you can so you can have those conversations. You will make more friends and it will give you something fun to fill the time with. Spend time with your grandparents and parents. We don't get enough time with them. Congratulations on your graduation. You're going to do amazing things. OP responded saying, I've been trying to do things, but it's been very difficult. I've barely left my bedroom ever since I came back from my trip. I feel physically tired as if I was sick. I used to go to the gym religiously 6 times a week, but ever since we broke up, I haven't been there once. Thank you for your support. I'm excited for one thing though. I was just elected the official speaker for my graduation year, so I'll be giving a speech at the ceremony. Have that to look forward to. And a couple more comments. One says, you didn't hurt a good person. Good people don't treat their partners the way he treats you. Is there anyone in the world you have enough disdain for that you'd speak to them the way he speaks to you? Anyone you dislike enough to ghost them the way he ghosts you? Is there anyone whose opinion of you matters so little that you can be selfish and rude to them and feel comfortable with that? Would you speak to your grandfather the way the man you think loves you speaks to you? Would you expect any of your friends to still want to be around you if you treated them the way he treats you? Are you careful with your relationships because those people matter to you? If he loved you, he wouldn't be like this. He's manipulative and controlling. He's got you bamboozled. You miss the fake person you wish he was, not the real him. Is this what you want to be doing in 5 years? Begging for crumbs from someone who treats you as disposable? Be with someone who respects you. And the final commenter says, in 5 years they'll both be doctors and financially well off. If he can't see that and wants to end the relationship because she wanted to go on a trip with her grandfather, of all people, is stupid for a smart person. And OP replies saying, hey, just to clarify, the trip was a gift from my grandpa, but he didn't come with. I went by myself. Sorry if for some reason I made it sound like he would be there. English is not my first language. And like one of the comments saying, her saying that I feel like I hurt a good person, really take a look back at what you've wrote. Sure, he can be insecure, but he's taking it all out on you and making it a you issue. It did make me chuckle when he went straight home after you broke up and deleted all your photos instantly. It just felt a bit petty. More immaturity, if you like. And the fact that OP did go on this trip in this was a good thing in the end for me. But now she needs to take a step back and stop romanticizing someone who treated her like shit. But now, what do you guys make of this situation? There was some mixed comments below that one, but let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from Square Efficiency 553 and says, how do I, 24 female, come clean to my 25 male boyfriend of 2 years about a lie I've kept going since 8th grade? I'm aware this is a terrible thing to do, and I will live with the guilt of it my whole life, and I cannot apologize enough to those affected by this. When I was starting 8th grade, I went into a completely new school district due to bullying at my old school. I still had one friend from my old school who I texted daily. I call her Molly. Molly and I had this idea to see how long I could convince the students at this school that I was colorblind. I'm not. And we decided it would be easiest for me to pretend to just see in black and white, which I'm pretty certain is not a thing. So I wouldn't get stumped if people tested me. Unfortunately for me, I was quite convincing and nobody ever called me out if they doubted me. I went on to fall out of contact with Molly because she stabbed me in the back and was then worried everyone would hate me when I came clean alone without her to defend, and that we had come up with it together. At this point, I had made a whole new friend group who believed me, and the entire school that knew me also knew that I was colorblind. Fast forward to meeting my now boyfriend. Nothing special, just lucky on a dating app. He was everything I was looking for, and I couldn't have been more happy and still am. We never fought in 2 years we've been together apart from silly debates about SpongeBob plots and what kinds of food is better. I love him more than anything, and I want to spend my life with him. However, I don't believe I deserve to have that. When we started getting serious, he met my best friend since high school, and in that meeting, my color vision came up, and rather than come clean to my best friend, I decided to lie to my boyfriend, and I feel terrible to this day. My issue is, I don't believe I can continue to go forward when there is this low hanging over the whole relationship for no reason. I feel like I have done the equivalent to cheating on him by lying for our entire relationship. I know I have to come clean, and I'm going to, and I hope for the best, I suppose. I simply would like advice on how best to go about it. His family also believes I'm colorblind. Feel free to rip me a new one in the comments. I deserve it for faking a disability, and I take full responsibility and will not claim I was a child and didn't understand. I knew I was wrong, and I regret it. Edit to those telling me to add to the lie and not helping. I know some are jokes. My issue isn't I'm scared he'll figure it out. I want him to know. I simply want a smart way of going about telling him. Top commenter simply said to this one, hey, so this is insane. Thank you. Hope you replied. I'm aware. Thank you. Another commenter said, here's the thing. You've been feeling shame about this for so long you've lost perspective. So I'll tell you, this is objectively hilarious. It's also not that big of a deal. You told a lie as a kid to get attention. You didn't hurt anybody with this lie. You got in too deep and kept it up to avoid embarrassment in high school. Probably when the shame started getting tangled into it because you knew by that point that it's a little cringe to tell an attention-seeking lie. Now you can't separate the reality that it was dumb, a silly thing to do, and nobody is going to hate you or cut you off for it, from the alternative reality you've created in your head. That this was a shameful lie, and you betrayed your friends and boyfriend by telling it. The alternative reality is not a thing. It's not real. Try to get an aerial view of this. Imagine your boyfriend claimed to be left-handed as a kid because he thought it'd be cooler, and somehow managed to learn to write with his left hand and fooled everyone. Now imagine him coming to you, solemn, guilty, almost in tears, and admitting that he's not actually left-handed. He's been right-handed all along. You'd laugh your ass off, right? I mean, if my husband told me that, I definitely would. Because it's funny, and nobody got hurt, and it's so not a big deal. I'd probably make fun of him for it for a while. Not mean, just teasing, and then I'd probably forget all about it. Maybe once in a while I'd remember and chuckle again. Just come clean to your boyfriend, it's not that deep. Your brain and shame are tricking you. Opie says thank you so much. I told my mother and asked for her help, and she couldn't stop laughing enough to speak. I guess it's not that bad, but my shame is that it's a disability I faked and in a way was making fun of those who genuinely suffer with it. Commenter says, what? Come clean to everyone. Face the consequences. OP says, I'm planning to come clean to everyone. The 3 people in my life that think that and his family. I'm planning to face the consequences. I want advice how. Commenter says, there is no logical way to explain it. It's been years. Wasn't this exhausting? I think this is a rip the band-aid off situation. OP says, yes, it's exhausting. You're right. He's coming to my place after work tomorrow, and if I don't chicken out, I'm planning to tell him then. Commenter says, lol, reminds me of how I said I lost my virginity to a non-existent man named Jack and kept up the lie for an entire 7-year relationship with a dude I actually lost it to. I don't know. Tell him you have to tell him something and it's really bad. Just keep alluding to how terrible it is, so that he thinks you slept with his dad or drowned litters of puppies for fun. Then when you finally reveal it's just that you're not colorblind, he's relieved. OP says, I hate to admit, that's what I was thinking from the start, but I don't think I could bear to even make him think that I would do that. Someone says, info. Have you actively kept up colorblindness with new friends, acquaintances, co-workers, etc. in the years since high school? Or was this a high school prank that went away for years and recently came back to bite you in the butt? OP says, I only kept it up if someone who I'd already told brought it up in front of someone I hadn't, and my knee-jerk reaction, I guess, was to keep going and not come clean. And one more commenter says, hey, so I actually did this too. Not laughing at you, just at us being so silly. I eventually was just like, yeah, I'm not colorblind. I don't know what I was thinking. And OP says, care to say if anyone hated you? The commenter replies saying, nope, no one. I got laughed at a few times, but honestly, I had to laugh at me too. Look, I can't speak for everyone who's colorblind, but I'm colorblind myself, and I found it funny, to be quite honest, that she just pulled off the world's most unnecessary long con. And she's clearly eating herself up with guilt over this. What amounts to like a harmless teenage prank. That just got completely out of hand, and like the commenter says, you just need to tell him the truth. If he's half as great as she says he is, he's probably going to laugh his ass off as well, just because it's just wild. But OP comes in with an update and says, I spoke with my boyfriend last night while having pizza. I simply said what I typed above, as many people suggested, and after a lot of blank stares, silence, and a simple, what? He started laughing. I was laughing nervously, and I was still unsure if he was going to get up and leave my house, but wanted to laugh at me first. Dramatic, I know, but that's me. He calmed me down because he's a saint and told me I'm stupid and that was weird, and he's still slightly shocked, but ultimately he didn't care. We continued eating our pizza, watched the next Marvel movie in our lineup, and had a completely relaxing night. I waited to update, still unsure if he was staying with me after a night's rest on it, but I'm happy to say it's as if nothing has changed and I couldn't be happier. I saw a few comments appalled that I was sorry for lying to my boyfriend, but nobody else. I will admit my post did make it seem that way, and maybe he was the catalyst to make me take the steps towards coming clean, but I do deeply regret lying to my friends as well. On that note, I told my best friend as well, over the phone because she lives an hour away at college right now, and she also thought it was hilarious and shocking I managed to keep it up this long. She also said she wasn't upset with me, and it changed nothing between us apart from the relentless teasing I'm sure is coming my way. I haven't told my boyfriend's family yet, as I want him and I to decide together how to go about it because he obviously knows them better than me, although I've already come to love them as my own family. I may update later on when I do tell them all, but I'm not sure. Thank you for all the advice, even though some of it was hard to hear. I accept that and we'll move on and be better going forward. All's well that ends well, in my opinion, but it just brought me back to when I was tested for color blindness in 6th year of school. I'm not sure what the equivalent of that is in other places. 11, 12 maybe? And we was all sat in French class, just learning as we were, and we was getting called out one by one. We weren't actually told what this was for. We just walked out and there was a row of tables and like loads of the colorblind charts where you have to find the pattern or a number within it, you know, just like loads of dots. And we weren't told what it was about. We just said, oh, there was just another student who was saying, oh, find the path through these. And I got up to number 4 and I couldn't see any more paths onwards. I was like, I can't see nothing. What's going on? And the guy just kind of went to me, oh, you're done. Go back in class. And then I just remember sitting there for the rest of my French lesson thinking, what the fuck just happened? Obviously, I didn't think, what the fuck, because I was 11 or 12 at the time, and nothing really happened after that. No letter was sent home, nothing. It was just like a few years later that I stumbled across it myself, that I am actually colorblind. And boy, if anyone else is colorblind here, you know, if you tell someone that you're colorblind, they're like, immediately, what color's that? What's this? Oh, I don't mind people's curiosity, but holy moly. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. And don't forget, at the very end of the video, there'll be a couple of playlists there that you can click on, and it will automatically scroll through all the videos for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.